Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Youth and Education meeting for Community Board 11. It is today, October 10th, and it is 6:33. Again, welcome everybody. Before we call the meeting to order, we'd like to go over a few of the ground rules. No one will speak until they're granted the floor. CB11 members, if you have a question about the board business or wish to make a motion, please raise your hand and wait to be recognized. To raise your hand through the Zoom, click on the participants icon and use the raise hand function. In here, please just raise your hand. Members should not engage in back and forth discussion. The chair will recognize the next person to speak. The chat should not be used except to conduct CB11 business as it relates to the agenda topics. All other remarks on the record will not be recognized. Please keep questions and comments brief and topic to the discussion at hand. Members of the public, if you have a question or comment about the subject on the agenda, please raise your hand and wait to be granted and wait to be recognized. Now we will do the roll call. Oh, I forgot to mention, we are also joined by Assistant District Manager, Khalid Nixon.
Roll call right now. Members, there are 6 total members on this committee, so 6 are needed for quorum, just for reference. Kareem Kauser, Rosa Diaz,
Present.
David Giordano,
Present.
John Green,
Here.
Annie Hansen,
Here.
Christina Johnson. Sage Mason is excused. Jennifer Meyer,
Present.
Asher Rodriguez,
Present.
Isaac Scott,
Present.
Russell Schuler,
Present.
their quorum chair.
Thank you. Adoption of the agenda. The agenda was handed out prior to tonight's meeting. If there is no objection, we will adopt the agenda as stated. Committee members, if you have no objection, or if you do have an objection, please raise your hand. Seeing that there's no objection, agenda is adopted. You gotta stay on the script, you're doing live and. You know, if you were at work, you wouldn't be doing the meeting tonight. The minutes from our last meeting were also distributed prior to the meeting ahead of time. If there is no objection, we will adopt the minutes from the September meeting. Committee members, if you object to adopting, you may raise your hand to be recognized. Seeing no hands, the minutes for the last meeting are adopted. Minutes for tonight's meeting are being taken by, and this is one we should spend a minute on. By default, I've been doing it. And when I haven't done it by default, when we've assigned it to people, it's not always gotten done. And then hence, it still falls on really the members of the chairs of the committees, or more so the members or the staff that have worked in the office and have put together minutes. So I don't mind like reviewing minutes and making corrections, but it is a lot. And when I do it, I really take it serious. And, you know, it is a obligation of all of us. So I wouldn't object if anybody else would like to take the minutes for tonight's meeting. And really the reason I say that is ultimately I gotta be responsible for it as the chair of this committee. And then it has to be submitted in a timely fashion, so it is. And I'll admit, over the Zoom and with this, I myself have not been up to where I should be for that. Now, I'll admit, I get minutes in that at the last minute, now they delayed it, so we still have more time. But giving me more time doesn't help me get it done. You know what I'm saying? Because there's other priorities that always come up with that. And sorry that y'all here and have to hear this, but this is the board and it's board business, and we all volunteers and do not get paid for this. And Ethan's gonna see me differently tonight after tonight. Since there are no volunteers, I will start assigning minutes next meeting and I will take them this one as we continue on. Thank you. So,
I'm sorry, were you thinking like rotating?
well, you know, again, even that process has to work, because we sat here and rotated, and nobody takes it when it comes their time, was that person is absent at the time that they're supposed to take minutes.
Yeah.
Well, the-
You're, you know that one, right? Don't feel well today, you can't come in.
Sign up sheet.
Yeah, I'm just
Sign
a
up.
little hesitant to volunteer because I gotta do the minutes for human services.
No, and I understand your
I'm in
dilemma.
the same place you are, so
Right.
I'm listening to you, but.
So I will take them and yes,
So what I try to do is when I create the minutes document, I at least share it with you and Asher. Would you like for me to share it with the whole committee so everyone has access to it? And if, you know, there are items.
no, this is not wishy-washy, because see, I always feel, and even though we got into the process of minutes not being done for the current full board meeting, which contrary to me not getting them done on time a few times, I don't agree with that. I think they should be present and approved at the full board when we're presenting on. Because if I get up there and I present on minutes that I haven't done yet, that's fine, but then that's after the fact that we approve. But that's my own mishigas, and I'll raise that in executive, but we have that. So for the purposes of moving forward and not keeping people waiting, I will do the minutes, and
Okay.
next month I will sign them.
Got it.
And if I don't receive them on a certain date, then I will do them. I know how long it takes me to do them.
Got it. Okay then. All right, if you're ready to move forward, Chair.
So we're ready to move forward. Are there any announcements? Any new announcements?
I have no announcements at this
Back
time.
to school fair. being moved.
Are we doing the announcements now?
Oh.
So there were no.
Oh, so you're-
No,
We have our actual, you know, information updates, but these are announcements.
right, but there might be other people that have announcements. So there are some announcements that will overlap in both the DOE and CEC's updates, right? Rosie?
Yeah.
Being there are no announcements, we will move on.
I had my hand raised. This is Sage Mason.
I'm glad you can make it.
Yeah, I'm excused because I'm virtual, but I'll participate as much as I can. I just want to say regarding the committee minutes, I think the bylaws already establish a process by which the secretary is responsible for determining how committee minutes are done. So I think that's something to talk to the secretary about before we act unilaterally.
Who's the secretary is the question. I don't mind taking the minutes. But like this week, could we collaborate just because I've never taken them before?
Yes,
And then I can take them moving forward. Like, it's okay if I bring my computer in to take them, just 'cause that's
that would be,
easier. Okay.
that would be wonderful. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And then what you could do is send them to me, I'll review them, or we'll do it in a Google document that's live.
Okay.
And then we'll work on that. Sage, would you mind volunteering to do the minutes anytime?
Maybe in the future, not when I'm
Thank you.
excused.
Of course.
No, absolutely, but no, you know, this is like a funny thing, because you're excused for attendance purposes, but I'm glad your presence is here, because it's always welcomed. That all members, if you cannot make the meeting for whatever meeting, I mean, for whatever legitimate reasons, we may be working or in school. There's ways to still join and participate and make your voice heard. So thank you. So we will continue now with the informational updates. Dr. Christy De La Cruz, I see that you're there. I can't wait to see you on Saturday, live as we have this nice, wonderful festival. Dr. Christy.
Thank you, David, and thank you to Community Board 11. I apologize. I'm like en route from this superintendent's meeting. Sorry. So we have, so just for the sake of transparency, today, and I know the CEC and elected officials, there was an announcement from the chancellor and resources given to our school communities about how to engage in conversations that are happening in Israel and Gaza. And so I just want to name that, and our hearts and thoughts goes to everyone who's being impacted by this, whether it's firsthand or secondary trauma. And as a district, we are deeply committed into making sure that all members of our community feel welcome and supported. I just wanted to share that just in light of the events that have been going on. I do want to say that I know a couple of Fridays ago, we had the flooding. Our schools, most of the flooding and the repairs were contained to the basement. And so our custodial teams, huge shout out and appreciation to our custodial teams. The embargoed state data has been released. Really, really proud of the gains that District 4 has made. I do want to share that when you look at the public websites, the numbers might be skewed, or you might see in different presentations, oh, well, why is Dr. Christie saying this number, not that number? The public websites usually contain all of the students from D75. So all D75, and what I mean by that is we have a lot of co-located buildings. And so in a lot of our district data on the state and info website, it will include the D75 students. As a district, and I apologize. As a district, we still continue to make gains. A big accomplishment for us this year is as a East Harlem community, we are now at 50.3% proficiency for ELA. It's not where we want to be, but back in 2018, we were at 41.7%. And now that we are now at 50%, we continue to make huge gains. And math, we're continuing to make gains as well. Again, not where we want it to be, but we're at 39.7%. I do want to highlight that as a district, we have welcomed over 1,700 newest New Yorkers. We've had an enrollment increase of more than 10%, probably closer to 11% in our district. And I say that because our newest New Yorkers and or our newcomers that just come in without English proficiency, they were exempt from the ELA test, but they had to take the math test. And so that's another reason why I am still proud of our gains, regardless of, sometimes we hear all of the negative things and the worries, but just proud of the gains that we're making as a community. Tomorrow we have a lot of events happening. Tomorrow we have our CEC meeting, which you'll have a more robust presentation with a PowerPoint and more details. We also have our rescheduled Welcome Back to School event. It was scheduled for September 30th. It's been rescheduled for Saturday. And we will have it rain or shine because we can't keep postponing it, because I just looked at the forecast and it's like there might be rain, so we might have to move it inside, which I know we did years ago. Then we also have our Cafe Con Christi later this month on October 27th. And there, for the focus of this Cafe Con Christi, I'm going to talk more about New York City Reads and what it means for District 4 being a phase 2 in our journey. So those are some of the big buckets. And I'm probably forgetting more, but I'm sure that Rosa or other people here will remember some of the things that we've been doing. We've had a meet and greet with all of our newest UFT members. We have a 10-year celebration coming up on October 19th, where we celebrate all of our educators and leaders who earned the distinction of tenure. Oh, and we have, and you are invited, Community Board 11. We're having our big legislative breakfast town hall, safety town hall, on October 26th. And that'll be at the Boys Club. Please, let me know if you're coming. It's going to be a wonderful event where we invite the elected officials, the principals, UFT chapter leaders, PA presidents, all of us come together as one community. And so that's on October 26th. So a lot of great things. I also want to share that on Saturday, we will be giving out free books. And we're going to try this year as a part of our New York City Reads to always have free books available. So please come, and it would be great to meet you in person if I haven't already, but really excited about the upcoming school year. And I think that's, I mean, I don't know what your time frame is, but if we have any more things, so we are going to have, it's really important because now that the admissions process is out, if you want to find out more about middle school fairs, elementary fairs, we are having both in-person and virtual this year for both elementary, middle school, and our high school. So you could feel free to reach out to me and I can connect you with the flyers and the schools and so forth. So thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Christie. Good to see you. I'll see you Saturday, rain or shine. That's good. We'll have fun either way. Next we have Rosa from CEC4. Rosa Diaz.
Yes, thank you. Yes. We were very busy, and two of the things that we are so proud is we did parent consultations for our schools, District 4. The state is mandating that we, the community education councils, do the consultations for all the schools in District 4, not just our own schools, District 4, but all the schools, including the high schools. So we did one consultation for BBMS last month and another consultation for PS 112. And thank you to all the members that were present, and I'm sure that we have some members in online also. Tomorrow we having, well, the Chancellor's Parent Advisory Council is meeting. The link was already sent out and I will send it tonight. Also, if you guys can join us on October 17, Manhattan High School's President's Council is having their meeting. October 17 at 7 p.m. The link was already sent out and I will send it again tonight. And also CEC members, we met today. And we already started our school visitation. So please let us know if you want us to visit your schools. And another information that should be on the top of your mind is we have upcoming charter schools public hearing, October 16 and October 17. I will send the information again. Democracy Prep Endurance will be, the public hearing is going to be held on October 16. The Storefront Academy Harlem Charter School is going to be held on October 17. Harlem Prep Charter Schools public hearing is going to be held on October 16. I will send the information again tonight. And that's it.
Thank you. Questions?
Those are the only charter schools?
No, these are public engagement that they have to let everyone know if it affects District 4, which it does. They will send a notification to us. So if you have any further questions, you can also email to chatters with an S at the end at suny.edu. I will send the information tonight again.
Right, so there's only those few charter schools, because I know there's more within.
There is tons of charter school, but only 3 are holding public hearings next week.
Any other questions? Being none, we will continue on. Is there a representative from CEC5 here tonight?
No one's raised their hands.
Yep. Can I add something about CEC5, David?
Yes, please, Dr. Christie.
Because I attended their last month. They had the book event, the giveaway book event, and I was the UFT book event in District 5. And I want to just acknowledge them because they had leftover pallets of books that they donated to our District 4 community. And so I just wanted to lift and elevate them. And then I also know that they had a CRASL, which is around SEL partnership grant that they just had a weekend summit about. And so I just wanted to share that we're always trying to support each other as a Harlem community.
Thank you, Dr. Christie. And for many of you don't know, there's a small portion of CEC5, District 5, that has schools in this community district. And all, as we talked about last time, the numbers all shift around between community district, council district, and DOE district. Seeing that there are no other questions, thank you again, Dr. Christie, for telling us about their wonderful event. Do we have a representative from the District Attorney's Office?
We have a Sharima Harvell. Sharima, you have the ability to speak. You can unmute yourself.
Hi, I don't know if I could be seen. I'm sorry, but you could hear me, right?
We can hear you. I tried to promote you to panelists. Give me one.
Yeah, I'm gonna join now.
There you go.
Well, we're glad to have you. We've had long-standing members come from that office, attend meetings since I've been on the board since 2009. So thank you for joining us. Hope you stay with us for a little bit, and the floor is yours. Thank you. We can see
I'm
you.
excited. I'm excited to be here for so many reasons. I'm not going to keep this long-winded, but I just want to say thank you to all of you, each and every one of you. I am also a resident of East Harlem. I am the East Harlem Community Engagement Coordinator for the DA office for Manhattan. And my name is Sharima Harvell, best known as Rima. For most on this call knows me. I'm a big community leader out in East Harlem, so I'm very thankful for you guys in full yet again. What I would like to offer a few information. Well, as you know, the DA office is always looking to connect and bridge partnerships between the office and the community. So if there's any events that's coming up, I would love for you guys to keep me posted. I would love for us to be able to come out and table if needed. We do table for events if it's dealing with anything that's anti-gun, anything dealing with crime and seizing crime, and also for domestic violence. So we will be working on some workshops for leaders to know more about the DA office, because a lot of people just see the DA office and think it's just prosecutions and indictments. But the truth is that we have a whole plethora of different things that happens there. So we will be starting workshops sometime in January. Maybe before then, but I'll keep you guys posted. And that's all my updates for right now. Just wanted to say hello. I will be at more of you guys' meetings throughout the month. So you see my head popping in and out. And as I get more information about things, I will definitely let you guys know.
Thank you much. And I'd like to reach out to you because we're doing, I have a group of children. I work with also Children's Aid Society, and we run a club on 104th Street out of Lexington Academy right now. And we've been working on a project, our youth, and they went and presented in Washington, DC this summer about all the young people that have been unfortunately shot and killed in East Harlem. And they did a map, but we'd definitely like to connect with you to work with the kids and to follow up with some of those things that we have worked on. Not that we're looking for you to go out and arrest anybody, but more so how do we do collaboration and work together around this? And we're looking to put on a forum coming up in the next month or two. So we definitely would like to reach out.
Not a problem. I'm gonna throw my information in the chat right now.
One of the youth that was part of leading that group, Ash Rodriguez. So Ash, why don't you just explain it a little bit? Well, you maybe opened up.
Hello, Ash.
So basically, we went to DC and we presented at their Summit for America Youth Conference for the Boys and Girls Club of America. And our project was based on it wasn't necessarily young people shot in East Harlem. It was mostly people who were either shot by a young person in East Harlem or a young person who had been shot. And we took a map of our district and we put bullets where each person was shot, and there was like a red dot for if the person died. And the next phase of the project is many years ago, we did these Black Lives Matter portraits. We put basically small poems within each box, and it came together to make a person's face. So we're trying to do that with the victims who we found in East Harlem. So it's an ongoing thing because it's kind of hard to find some of the data. So yeah.
Well, we will try to help as much as we can. We got a lot of folks on this call, and now listening to your request and what you need, I'm sure many people are willing to reach out and assist as well with some things. Thank you, Ash.
And that's why it's good to have young people who actually do this work on the board, sitting at the table. And I want to thank you, Ash. And we will be reaching out. Thank you. So with that, we're moving forward. We have quite a few presentations today. Yes, Rose, I'm sorry.
Sorry, something that I forgot, I literally forgot on my report is our meeting is next week. Everyone is welcome in person, but you can also,
It's not tomorrow.
oh my God, listen to me. I am even giving the wrong report. It's tomorrow at PS 112 at 6 p.m. in person. You can join Zoom. I'm like,
It's okay.
my voice started going too fast.
We did a little rewind, but we'll continue on and we'll be reaching out to you. Arima, right? You go by Rima.
Sure.
Yeah, but she go by
What's
Rima.
your email?
Yes, I go by Rima. It's good. It's good.
All right, we're having a good evening tonight. You don't know what it is coming from 150 kids and then coming right here. As we continue on, we have a couple of presentations. Yes, Ash.
The budget and stuff.
Oh, we're going to the
Do
budget.
you want to do budget? We can,
It's up to you.
I'd
if you
rather
wanna
always
do
do
the
presentation first. I
Yeah.
mean, I like the way we get our business done, but keep people waiting, but I'd rather allow people who
Yeah.
don't have to wait, move on while we do our business.
no worries.
Because we're gonna be here anyway. Sorry, Khalid.
No, it's okay. The urban dog, just want to turn it up. I'm doing this.
See what happens when I make things go. Are the urban deaf people on the screen?
No, they're right here.
No, I'm just asking, I don't know.
They're right here with us.
So, is urban deaf going first?
Yeah, they're our only presentation.
Oh, okay, so the other.
Yeah, Urban Dove, and then we can go over the budget requests and
No,
then
that's
deal with
perfect. So,
visual items.
Urban Dove, we welcome you. I believe so my name again is David Jordan, I'm the chair of this committee, but I always believe in transparency. My wife, my partner I live with, is a member of one of the Urban Dove or the new schools that will be coming here from the, I'd rather not say that name, but I'd rather let you know where I sit. So welcome to East Harlem, and the floor is yours.
Thank you very much. The three of us work from Urban Dove, our organization. I'm very proud to have the opportunity to operate transfer schools. Second chance schools for students who do not pass ninth grade and who need a fresh second chance at a high school experience. And so we currently run two schools, one in Brooklyn and one in the Bronx. And we're gonna have the opportunity to open two new schools over the next 12 to 18 months, and it is very, very likely that one of them will be here in East Harlem. And my name is Andrew, and I'm one of the workers that are done.
My name is Chelsea. I'm the recruitment assistant, and I'm also a Brooklyn alumni from 2015.
My name is Jennifer. I'm the student recruitment manager for Urban Dove, and I've been with the company 10 years.
Urban Dove actually has a long history of working with young people in East Harlem. The organization actually started in 1998 as an after-school community youth development program of working with young people in East Harlem, Central Brooklyn, and South Bronx. The organization did work in that manner for about 10 years. And then wanted to kind of deepen its commitment to young people and serve more young people. So the organization decided to open up a transfer school so that we could serve more students. And we serve a very particular population of students who have failed and not passed the ninth grade, and who generally cannot go to another transfer school. Most transfer schools take students who are 17 years old and older, and who have many more credits. You need 44 credits to graduate, but most transfer schools want the students coming in to have 32 credits, 36 credits, 38 credits, so that the student can graduate quickly, get the diploma, and off they go. But there is a huge population of 15 and 16-year-olds who have less than 8 credits, who have 2 credits, who have 4 credits, right? And who need a much longer runway, who need really a full high school experience. So Urban Dove is providing that. Because we know that those population of 15 to 16 years old, there's 100,000 such students in New York City. And that was your experience, right?
Yes, so as I said, I am also an alumni from Urban Dove Brooklyn, one of the first graduating years. So now I'm on the recruitment team with Miss Bella, who was also my mentor. So when I came into Urban Dove, I only had 2 credits, and Urban Dove with both the coaches, the mentors, the staff, they guided me both, educationally and personally. And since it's so tight knit, they like kept me in the right track and made sure, that I'm here today, that I was able to work in a recruitment team, speak to all other students that are potential students that I could tell my story, and then, spread the experience.
Yes, so as Andrew mentioned, we are a sports-based transfer high school, so essentially what that looks like, our students get to pick a sport, they'll be put on a team, as Chelsea mentioned. And it's 2 hours out of the day, to play a sport. And we accept students with like essentially, 0 to no more than 7 core credits, and that are 15 and 16 years old. As Andrew mentioned, a lot of transfer schools take kids at the older level, and we get them right at 9th grade when they fill the 9th grade. And our population rate for graduation for who we serve is 59%, which is essentially pretty good. 59%.
So very briefly, we have just a couple of slides to go through. So again, that's a picture of one of our coaches, Omar, who himself was a participant in Urban Dove back in the first iteration of Urban Dove. He started with Urban Dove as a 9th grade participant and went all the way through, went away to school, came back, and has now worked at Urban Dove for 7 years as a coach. With his team of students, he's had two teams go a full 3 years and graduate now. And the slide just sort of talks about the need, that how many young people, how many overage undercredited students there are in New York City, which is many, and that Urban Dove is meeting the needs for this population. Can you go to the next slide, please? Again, so again, students who fail 9th grade, overall in New York City wide have a graduation rate of 30%. Or what is that? 30%. And a college enrollment rates below 20%. Right? So this, again, we're serving the overage, undercredited students around New York City. And in general, the results for students who fail 9th grade are very, very much not good. Could you continue, please, Mr. Nixon? And then so the way that we approach and try to engage this particular population is through, like Jennifer was saying, through the sports-based youth development, where every student like Chelsea who comes into Urban Dove is placed on a team, and each team has a full-time coach. And this coach is not necessarily the kind with the whistle after school, who blows the whistle and just points for people to go here and there. The coach is has to be a very multi-skilled person who's a little bit social worker, a little bit of a role model, a big problem solver. The person on the phone when school starts at 9:30 and there's 11 members of her team are not there, she's texting everybody, where are you at? Time for school, where are you at? And Fieldy calls at this time at night, oh, coach, I think I need to do my homework. You remember what the homework was for science? Like that. So the coach is a key role, has to be a multi-skilled person. And one of the things that our organization does is develop coaches. So we have each of our current schools, we have 15 coaches. So we have 30 full-time coaches, each of whom has a team of 15 to 20 students. And again, the team and the coach move together as a unit all day, every day. First hour in English class, second hour at workforce development class, third hour in the gym practicing the sport, fourth hour at lunch, like that.
It's like the summer rising program, where the CBO staff is with the school, with the
Yeah,
teacher supporting that process. Sorry.
Yeah. And again, the outcomes, the system for New York City, overall, the Department of Ed, 28% of students in this overage undercredit category graduate. At Urban Dove, like Jen said, our rate is 59%. We'd like it to be 60%. We're working towards it, but we're having a decent amount of success with this population of students. For these students, again, a 59% graduation rate, it's solid, and we can do better. Same thing with college enrollment, 18% system-wide. 43%, 43.5% for Urban Dove. And yes, we can and will do better. Yeah,
It's hard.
I know. Again, the young man pictured there, Jimmy Santiago, was a graduate from UT in Brooklyn in 2017. He was a 1 year behind you, right? Yeah. And Jimmy went off, went to college, came back to Urban Dove, and now came back to the organization in January as an assistant coach. Did a great job. Now, in September, he was promoted to a full coach, has his own team of students, and he's now Coach Jimmy, working in Brooklyn with 17 students on his team. Yeah, we have a lot. We have 24. I mentioned Coach Omar before. I mentioned Coach Jimmy. We have 24 alums of the earlier part of Urban Dove who are now with you. We have about 130 people working at the two schools, and we have 24 alums who were in the program, who were like Chelsea, who are graduates of our schools who are working at the organization, because that's an important thing to do, and it's it's part of how we maintain our real positive culture. We have a board of directors. We're organized as a 501c3. We're well organized, and again, try to put a lot of thought and a lot of effort and a lot of deliberation into how we reach across and engage these students. And this Coach Bo and her basketball team, and they were our first girls team to win the championship in basketball from 2021. I probably said too much already, and I know that the committee likes to keep things moving. Are there any questions for any of the three of us, or is there anything else? Yes.
How do you handle students with either a physical disability who can't necessarily participate in the sport, or a developmental disability?
So,
Go ahead.
okay, our students don't, Chelsea, for example, she didn't like to play sports, she didn't want to, wasn't medically excused. But we do work with our students so they could participate as far as being a coach's assistant, taking the books, like keeping score. And that's a way for them to get their credit, because that's how they get their credit for graduation. So yeah, we work with students.
And what does a typical day look like for a student, just like classes wise and stuff? Because you said they're gaining credits from doing the sports and stuff like that. How does that translate over to credits, if that makes sense?
For academic credits.
Yeah.
So you need 44 credits to graduate high school. And SBYD would be considered an elective, but sports, health and gym, physical education. So that's incorporated into the 44 credits. And they just have 2 hours of the sport every day. And then the rest of the day is regular, like history, global, science, math. English.
So the program is 3 years, correct?
It is, it's a 3-year program, and the student can make up to 18 credits in 1 year, and we go by trimesters.
Okay, so yeah, no, I was just wondering, because I know like when you fall behind, it's very easy to just have to keep going for the 4 years.
Right.
Because the DOE is very specific about how many English credits you should.
Right.
And also, look, we see a lot of students not doing it 3 full years. So we have many year 4 students who need a couple of extra credits, or some need a whole semester, some need a whole entire year, because our students, they don't attend every day. And there's a lot of things we can share about that, but we know the population. We have 2 teachers in every class. One is a regular teacher and one is a special ed teacher, because 43% of our students have IEP, so they're students with disability in that manner, right? And so that's who we're serving. So we only have to have 2 teachers.
I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be nitpicky. This is just me asking certain questions. Do you have certain services for the students with disabilities, or are they referred out?
No, so
Like occupational therapy, if it's.
so we have like not pull out groups, but we have people that come to the school, and whatever it says on the student's IEP, we do.
Okay, so
provide
they
those
don't have to be referred out. They
No,
can do
no,
it for
it's
themselves.
in school, yeah.
Yeah, we have a whole team, behind the teachers and the coaches. We have a team of social workers, and we have several school leaders. So we have one person who just coordinates and just focuses on students with the IEPs and does everything with the IEP, because we have a lot of students in that category.
So you outsource those services?
We
or-
do not.
No.
No, not.
I'm not something for occupational therapy, something with a medical thing like a therapy,
Right.
we might do it, but we don't come across it too often. But, we're, happy to, deal with it directly.
So can you clarify for me, when you say 59%?
Yeah.
Graduate, is that 59% of the children, their kids, graduate on time and then you keep on going, or like, how does that, like, what of the 41%, where do they go? After that 3-year
The
period?
41, well, first of all, sometimes the students graduate in 4 years, so it's the class away can be elongated more than 3 years for the 59%. The 41% either drop out or they can transfer to another school. Yeah, and sometimes the student comes in our roster or agrees to come in. Jen and Chelsea do all the work to get through to come in, and we see the student one or 2 days, and then we never see the student again.
So what do you do when the child wants to drop out? If you see that the child is having problems on top, like, what do you do?
So I can answer that. So that's, we work at a school directly inside the building, and so that's never something that we help facilitate. We try to push them to graduate. And so we work with them no matter what. And so let's say a student came in, like there was a time, I'll just speak about you briefly. So she didn't want to come to school for a while, and I am still her mentor. And so it was my responsibility to call her, because every child also has a mentor. And so if there's levels to each of the mentor program. And so even though your coach reaches out, but your mentor has to have a direct relationship with you. And you would have to make sure that they come in a certain day, and like, she didn't want to come to school for a while. And so I would just work out a schedule where she came in 3 days a week. You did all your assignments, and then the other 2, we would work our way up. And so we tried to stay away from like having a child drop out. And so we just kind of exhaust every possibility.
What about the parent? What about like reaching out to the parent or that other adult, because not every child has, a parent next to them, you know what I mean?
Right, so for the family and engagement community coordinator, which was my role a couple of years ago, actually. What I would have to do also is to make sure that our parents are engaged. Make sure that we have PTA meetings, make sure that our parents are abreast. Yep, absolutely, they know what's going on in the building, and our coaches also call our parents every day. So if a student doesn't come to school, our parent knows, they know, we're calling. And not only just the coach, but whoever is attached to that student is also calling and following up, like, hey, we need to make sure this Chelsea's on track. What can we do? How can we help you? And so we get our families engaged in the process. And a lot of our students actually come from,
I wanted to say about that. Okay, so when I was in Urban Dub, at first it was kind of a struggle because I was coming from a whole different setting, and Urban Dub is more like, on your back, and like it's more like they're more there in your face more. So it's not too much room to like, mess around and not do what you're supposed to do. So during that process, like while I was in Urban Dub, I experienced a couple of things. I have children, so I got pregnant, and then even those times I wasn't trying to come, but it comes to the point where, just her, my mentor, the coaches, they'll make sure I go to my appointment, come back to school, but my appointment's at 12 o'clock, I can leave, come back. Also with the parent thing, I lost my mother while I was in school. And so during that time, it was like really rough. And that's when I was like, I'm not doing it. That's what I'm talking about. I wasn't trying to like come to school anymore, but it came to the point where both the principal, my mentor, my coaches, my teachers, like they really make it to the point where you have no choice but to graduate. Like that's how much they did for you, and through regardless of anything. It could be both personal things or just educational things. They're gonna make sure you not finishing and is not an option. So it's always gonna be, even if have a baby, lose your parent, you get a little sidetracked as a teenager, you stay there to like suck you back in, both like educational and like personal. They make sure it's like nothing but graduating there. So that's why I feel like it's definitely
everyday
intervention.
When we recruit, when we have meetings with families, we definitely say like, we're gonna pull up to your house. We're gonna go get you. Education is important. Education is freedom for our people. And so it's really important. And so the thing I love most about Urban Dub is we really are a team and family, and we believe in our young people, and we don't pull out stops. We're going forward. because they need to get their high school diploma.
Do you have an in-house medical clinic?
That we do not have.
Let's work on that. What about AP classes? Do you offer AP classes for them to have credits for college?
No, we've started working with, there's a new Pathway to Success program from CUNY, the CUNY
Yes.
K through 16.
Yeah.
We were in the first trial group. We were one of the first 5 groups we're working with. We did the pilot program with Kingsborough, with KCC this spring. It went okay. It was interesting. We want to replicate it again. We're not sure that either KCC or Hostos wants to do it. We're game.
BMCC also offers classes for students, so they can.
The problem with some of those is if you go to a college outside of New York or outside of the CUNY system, you cannot transfer those credits.
But you gain the experience and knowledge, so it's not like that.
Right, but it also
We're
affects
talking about college credits.
financial aid if you go for it, because then you're spending money on classes that can't be transferred.
No, it doesn't. The school will pay for you while you're in school.
What I'm saying is, let's say you try to go, you have to pay money to get that transcript. Once you go to another college, you have to pay money to get that transcript, and then you're spending money on that transcript just for it to get rejected. This isn't just like a personal experience. This is what I've heard from other people who have done the like CUNY program with like the college during high school. It's a little bit, if you don't go to a CUNY or a SUNY, it's not really going to transfer over.
Right, depending on your major.
All right, let's think. Yeah.
To wrap up, thank you for.
No, there are more questions. Let me just acknowledge.
Time isn't your time. We don't want to all the time.
First, we want to acknowledge that you are here as a charter school and entity,
Yes,
because not all come before us.
right,
And we also have questions about,
right. Yeah,
When you're
right.
coming in.
We're a
So-
charter transfer school, which is a
Right.
little unusual.
right, and we welcome again, but we do have questions, and I think Sage is on, why don't we get to,
Well, I think Isaac had his hand up,
I was-
and then Annie or Christina.
we all gonna get our question in, so we'll defer to our newest member of the committee.
Won't be.
How do you recruit your students since there is such a huge population? How do you get your students?
So that's really what we do. Our job is just to recruit, so we go to schools. I've built relationships, I've been doing this for 10 years, and so I know a lot of guidance counselors, I know a lot of families. And so it's just a lot of outreach. We hit the streets, we're at school fairs, transfer fairs, anything. We went to,
Specifically, I'm sorry, specifically in East Harlem, what schools are you targeting?
all of them.
All the high schools? Absolutely.
Well, we plan on giving priority to the seat. We're gonna have 300 seats in our school. You know, 100, we call year 1, year 2, year 3, but essentially 10, 11, and 12, 100 students each year. And when we start, we're gonna give priority to residents of CFP.
That's your question, Dave?
Please.
So I have 2 questions, they might just be connected. Why do you believe your success rates are a lot higher than DOE? Like, what are you seeing different? And you kind of explained some of that and how you engage people, that's different from DOE, but specifically, what are some things that you're noticing in students, and what are you doing different to have such higher success rates than they have? But also, you mentioned a team of social workers, and I was wondering a little bit more about the social support that's wrapped around these young people, because if they didn't make it in one school, how are you ensuring they're able to make it in this school? Which also led me to a recruitment kind of question is, are y'all also dealing with justice involved young people? So yeah, I know I have a lot to say.
I'll start, but please jump in. So we don't have any barriers to entry. So any student who has tried but not passed 9th grade and who has less than 8 credits, we are open to taking that student. And some students are just as involved. Some students haven't been to school a couple of years. Some students, we know some students, there are circumstances that are to make it so that a student is not going to school. And so our kind of approach, our way of reaching across. And having, I think, a positive culture that when a student kind of walks into the building and sees there's 20 people like all of us. Like who are all role models, who are all positive, who are all positive energy, and we all been trained in reaching across. Because our group, the main thing we're trying to do is engage students. We work on the social and emotional part first. So that students want to come to school, that students themselves are making a decision to come to school. Once that student makes that decision, we can do the academic part. Working on the social, and that's why the team structure, we feel we have a good chance with putting the coach in the center with a team of students. So if Chelsea came in, Chelsea and 15 or 16 other girls with a coach, and they're together all the time to build like bonds and to build familiarity and build safety. So that student will choose to.
What is the maximum number of students for a coach? 20,
20.
it's not more than 20.
Yeah.
And they're connected to support, right?
They're connected to support. So in each of our schools, we have probably 4 to 5 social workers. And the social workers are connected to each grade, so it might be one social worker for each grade. And we have a lot of interweaving and a lot of connection on a lot of different levels. We have mentors, we have the social workers. For behavior, we have a restorative practice. So we started in 2014. It took us really 2 years to train ourselves thoroughly and properly to be able to put in place a restorative practice. It's hard to do. And of course, there are a lot of days where we're not good at it. But we try to resolve problems restoratively within the school so that when a student does something that harms the community, the student can repair that harm the community. Because it doesn't make sense to take a student and give them send them home on suspension. You can't suspend your way. You can't suspend your way out of that. I mean, it's just, I think we tried that in our first 2 years, and then we looked around and there was supposed to be 200 students there, and there are 47 students in the school. Because there were 102 on suspension. I think we looked at ourselves and I wasn't that overdone back then. I think maybe we need to do it different. That thing we went and restored it, and it took us a while. I mean, we're good at it now, but it's. Did I say that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
2 questions. First, I might have just missed this, but
I'm sorry, Jennifer.
Oh, sorry.
Sage did have his hand up for a
Yes,
while.
so we're gonna go Sage. I'm following Khalid's lead on the hands up, so sorry.
Sorry, Jennifer.
Yeah, would it be better for all of the people present and voting to speak before I speak?
No,
Is
you're
that-
equal member on the team and we're going in order, Sage.
Right,
You're
and there
next.
is not a vote. Just wanted to, clarify, the requests with Urban Dove right now was to gather input on an efficient community engagement per the letter that we received, but if that changes later on, of course, you make a request for a letter of support, we can entertain that, but that wasn't a request for this time, Sage, FYI.
Okay, I just thought that it might be required that the present people are the only, and then you can take the excused gallery. But I'm happy to ask my question now. I want to say thank you to the Urban Dev folks for coming and for this presentation. I appreciate the professionalism, the details and the statistics, not saying that your curriculum is proprietary or something like that. And you brought alumni with you and have a proven track record. And I think those are all really important elements of presenting an organization like this that is going to bear some responsibility over the upbringing of our children and the care of our children, and seeking the approval of the board. So I just want to thank you guys for that. A question that I have is, are you guys able, because and you have touched on it during the presentation. I can turn my camera on for a second as well. You touched on it during the presentation, but some of these people who would be involved in Urban Dove, I'm sure have maybe challenging relationships with their parents, or their parents have difficulty getting the kids to do what the parent might think is in their best interest, or maybe the parents aren't around. To what degree are you able to act unilaterally without the parents? Or do you need parents' consent for everything you do with somebody under the age of 18?
So we do deal with a lot of students that are a ward of the state. And so we deal with a lot of social workers that kind of make those decisions. But because they are minors, decisions have to be made from adults. And so whichever adults are attached to those children, that's who we work with. Yeah.
I think, to add to what Jen just said, I think the answer is really all of the above. We have to do all of them. And it depends on the individual, how old the student is, how, is there a parent involved? Is the parent, are we able to communicate with the parents? And it can get complex. So it's really a case by case basis. And again, then as Jen pointed out, when the student does turn 18, he or she is an adult, and then the equation changes.
Good point, Sage. It is important to recognize when people do become young adults.
Yeah.
And have the legal decision to make on their own, but prior to that, we do need consent.
Thank you.
Another thing I just wanted to make sure and mention, is that, again, we very much hope to come to East Harlem. And we will not be co-locating with another school. We will definitely have our own location because we know that we need our own space with the population that we're serving and kind of doing the work in this very specific way. We need that. Also, we need to have a big gym because we're sports-based youth development. We gotta be able to play. And like in both of our current locations, we have kind of newish kind of buildings with huge big gyms. And so everyone wants to go there. It helps on recruiting too.
Yeah.
Jen, as a student, they come in and take a look. Oh, I could see myself playing volleyball, like that. So it's that's something that we'll do.
Do you have a location as of yet?
Not as of yet, no. We're looking. Our executive director, the founder, Jay Nanda, he's looking at a lot of real estate, doing a lot of meetings, and looking around carefully to find a spot.
So, question, if a spot cannot be found with the requirements that you need, will you be building a space in East Harlem?
I can't really answer that, but I'm pretty sure the answer.
It's not much space there.
Right,
That's so expensive.
right, if you're not going to build a space, will that stop you from coming to East Harlem?
Hope not. I don't think so. I hope not. I mean, it's impossible to fully save, but we very much want to come.
Would you try to maybe integrate with the high school that's already here? Cause I see that the charter schools are trying to move into some public schools, so will you think about doing that?
Yeah,
Yes, I had a question about location, so that was answered. My other question, I thought the statistics on those that go to college was great, because college is not for everyone, so. Do you have anything about like what, if they're not going to college after they graduate, are they going to trade school or entering the workforce?
So each school has a college and career readiness department. And in that department, we have our youth workforce programming and our college prep programming, which is called College All-Stars. We've the original program from Urban Dove was something called a High Risers, which was training young people, so who came into us, those kind of teenage youth got trained, and then they were sent into elementary schools to work with elementary school students in leading activities, athletics, academics, and arts. And that program evolved, in a very solid way over a long period of time, and that's what kind of got our organization kind of big enough to move into running transfer schools. So we now take that original program, and it's now just inside the schools. In the college and career readiness, both of our programs, High Risers and College All-Stars. We have a good pipeline now of having the College All-Star, the college prep classes as part of the school. This is what you do in year 1, this is what you do in year 2, year 3, you apply and off you go. For youth workforce development, we have our base program, the High Risers. And we partner with elementary schools, and then we send Chelsea and College Board at school over to the elementary school to run this program. And then we developed some internal internships. So inside the school, someone who might have an athletics internship might help with all the setup of the game days and announcing the games and helping to learn how to referee, like that. Another internship are ambassadors who, when if one of you came as a visitor to Urban Dub, 2 youth ambassadors would come and meet you and give you the building tour. Like that. We need to do even more work on workforce development. We really do, because we need to really get out there and link with those good vocational training programs. For example, we need to link, say, the Strive. Because we know that. And I don't have to do, for tech, we need to be linked with Proscolas, for healthcare. I mean, there's, with nutrition and cooking, we're just starting to get linked up, with Hotbed Kitchen. We know the vocational programs out there. It's our job to really get linked up in the next year or two to really provide those career options for the students who, college is not fair. To your point.
Thank you.
Also, many times we help kids get to college, but we don't always provide additional supports they need to maintain at college. For a whole host of reasons, emotional,
Financial.
it's a change, right? Kids don't really realize what it is to leave home. They may have never been away from that, right? And then the financial is just a whole another kick. We get the money there, we find out it's the 3,000 you need right there in the school, but then what happens to the semesters after those, right? Those are things I hope you have planning in going forward and developing for the school, because I've seen too many kids who get there, but don't have the necessary supports to enable them to maintain and stay there.
The majority of our students go to CUNY. Both 2 years, 4 years, but mostly 2 year. So it's possible to do that, to stay in touch in a real way, because everybody's local. We do have students going to SUNY, a little bit to private schools. But this year we had a student go to College of St. Rose in Albany, and we occasionally have a student go to like Mercy College. They're both trying to keep them to the public university. That's what we advise, because it's much more, more bang for the buck. I mean, in so many ways. And so the students are out of town. We try to get them on campus the first year. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. It was the pandemic, just really shot all college programming for every organization and for every school. For several years, we're really just now getting it back to our usual rhythm and recovery.
And CUNY and SUNY reduce your debt that you have following up later on. Are there any more other questions amongst the committee members? Rosie, you wanted to ask another question?
Do you
Ash?
also, have you accepted newest New Yorkers?
We haven't, but we would.
Okay, and how many students are in the classrooms?
Well, it's a team, so it'd be, if Jen is the coach and it's her team of students in the class, again, it's 2 teachers in the class, and there might be 15, 16, 17 students in the class.
Oh.
Right. And it's individualized, right? So the student comes, the teacher's really doing 17 individualized lessons at once. Right, because the whole idea, if the student comes in and the student misses a week, a lot of our students, miss school. When you come back, you can't say, oh, you missed the unit on mitochondria, you're behind, here's all this work to make up. Student's not going to do that.
Right.
That's why that's part of maybe why they didn't pass 9th grade in the first place.
Right.
So you do an individualized, the student misses a week, come back, oh, you were on unit 1, task 5. I think you were working on numbers, A and B. You'll get back to it. Like that.
I wonder if I should ask about the attendance rate then.
Our goal is 70% system-wide. Last year, Bronx 68, Brooklyn 66. We're not exactly where we want to be. We always start off strong in September, of course. In September, we're kind of near 80. But if 70% of our students attended 70% of the time, we would have a 70% graduation. I don't have to tell you. Of course, we're not there, but that's where we aspire to.
Well, you miss 10% of class, it's chronic absenteeism, right? I mean, but we're also talking about a population that's already been failed in the system, and I think individually, working with students is part of the way to go, and to some degree, because everybody's at a different level. And when you miss classes, we know it's so hard for kids to catch up. Any other questions? Ash, Russell?
I knew the founder, and he started, so
You know Jay?
Yeah.
Yeah.
he knows me.
God.
You know
Everyone.
There you go.
Your name, sir?
Russell Schuler.
Yes.
Education through sports.
I've heard your name, yes. Okay, I'll help you. You know Jay, yeah. You know Jay, he's serious business.
Yes,
I'm sorry, last question. Sure. What sports coming into it? Very different sports. I meant to ask that.
I think it's, it's seasonal, but say so for the fall, we're doing volleyball, basketball, flag football, dance. We did all the time. There's one or two teams that are just dance. And in the spring, we'll play softball. We've done, haven't we, soccer? We've had soccer, we've had a little bit of lacrosse. It's kind of a combination of what students are interested in, what our coaches kind of know how to do, and the season. But throughout each season, I'd say the steadiest three are volleyball, basketball, and dance.
Just quickly, what's the caseload for the social workers and the guidance counselors?
The guidance counselors, everyone on the staff does the guidance kind of as a group, so there really isn't a guidance counselor per se, is that right?
Yeah,
Right?
no, that's accurate.
And a social worker, I would say about 55 to 60.
Last question.
Yeah.
Are there any after-school opportunities?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, there are. So a lot of our games are after school. There's something called Uber Dove. And so some of those activities, and that's where, like, let's say a group of girls were interested, or students, period, were interested in cosmetology or boxing. That's things that we facilitate as long as we have the interest, and we do it after school. And we're essentially, we have kids in the building until like 7:30. And we're trying to kick them out. It's time to go home. But yeah.
One of the things about having a great gym is that we play a lot of home games.
Yes.
You know how many times we're, okay, the game's got somewhere else, we get everything, we get everybody over there. Game's canceled, other team not showing up, sorry, there's a miscommunication. You know how many times we've gone over there and gone over there for nothing, and taking 3 hours and not play. It's nice to play a home game. So a home game, we're waiting for the team to show up, we're doing a little bit of homework, getting a little practice, doing a little whatever like that, and so now in the CSL, we're a pretty popular place. I mean, the gym is filled on Saturday. We might be playing 2 games out of 6, but the other schools, the other teams are in there playing, and we like that.
Thank you. Wow.
Well, thank you. We appreciate the presentation. Sorry for the in-depth. What I would ask is if you would just stay a few more minutes. Okay. If you are interested in, as Khalid had mentioned, a SAGE is a letter of support. I'm sure the committee would entertain that. Generally, what we do, if there's no time limit, if there's a presentation and a letter of support is asked, we generally take a month to sit on it.
Sure.
Do whatever investigations or, research or follow up with, whoever presents, just to make sure that we are helping support and endorse something that's positive in our community. We may not always agree on what's positive in our community, but we do our best to address those issues. Again,
Yes.
I want to thank you. Working with youth in a transitional school is giving that youth a second chance, or maybe a third and a fourth at times. As I said, I work with Children's Aid. I've worked with them since I'm 18, I'm 61. I've given a lot of kids second chances because I was given a second chance as well. So I would ask that you just entertain me for a few more minutes as we continue our meeting. Unless there's any objections, I'm going to go out of order again because I can do that. And I think if you wait these 2 minutes, you'll appreciate what I'm doing. Yeah. Okay. No, that's fine. We're recorded, so come back and watch. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
And following up, I'm sorry to take everybody up, but I always think it's best to get the information we want people to know. That's very important in our community. So on September 17th, 2023, a very special person that's worked for Children's Aid Society celebrated their 50th anniversary, and they're continuing to work out of our Dunleavy Millbank Center on 118th Street between Lenox and Fifth. So, for those of you that don't know, I first met Kelsey in 1975, 74, as part of a youth in the program. Do we have those things I asked you to entertain my craziness with? I am an entertainer. I'm unfortunately a byproduct of social work, advocate, you know, well, the DJ is less important.
Oh my God, that photo.
So if we can go to the one first with Kelsey by himself. I know I got a whole lot of things. I sent Khalid last minute to entertain me. So right there is Kelsey Stevens at the Dunleavy Millbank Center. As I said, on 118th Street, on November 7th, we are celebrating his 50th anniversary. And it is really a community celebration of Harlem and East Harlem. He's worked primarily at a Douglas Center on the west side, where I first started. He worked at the East Harlem Center. He worked at the Millbank Center, and he's worked as the director of sports management for the agency, and still coaches a girls team today on Sundays at Dunleavy Millbank, and they are actually playing. Now, the reason I wanted you to stay is because I first came to Douglas Center to play basketball, and all I was concerned was rec. And I stayed there. And this is Kelsey and a special program he started in 1973, I believe, when he did start. And it was a bitty basketball program in getting the kids from the Frederick Douglass projects involved. We have a member that actually played in this bitty program when I was the director of it in the 90s, and that's, I remember.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I played
Yes.
for Biddy and Biddy.
Yes. So again, Kelsey came from the Harlem Wizards, which was like the Harlem Globetrotters. It was more natural to the community of Harlem. He then was drafted by, I believe, the Pistons or whoever, right? Russell knows better than me because he knows them as an adult. I only knew him as a child at that point. And he's really opened up not just basketball for kids, but used the sport to involve kids in other programming. So one of the things that Kelsey ran the last few years, or many years, was a sports management program at Children's Aid. And what that program entailed was, just as you had communicated and Asher had asked, what do you do with that kid that may love sports, but can't play because of some disability, or just doesn't have the skills? If you love the sport, there's other things to do in the sport. So he would teach how to keep the books, how to do the clock, how to be a coach. And that's what he was. He was my coach when I first came to Children's Aid. If you go to the next slide, see Kelsey looking real good and slim there. And the picture before that, you saw he was just as slim. See that little fat kid on the side on the right? Well, that was me at 13 years old when he was my coach. He later became my mentor. See, I played too. He later became my mentor, then a colleague, and now a friend. And I think it's really important that CB11 and Community Board recognize his 50 years at Children's Aid. And this is one of them situations where I'm gonna put the motion that we write a letter or a citation from Community Board 11 for 50+ years of service to the kids of Harlem and East Harlem community. And you see, we always try to figure out how old Kelsey was. Because when I came at 13, he was already a man, right? And as we all aged, I'm 61, turning 62. Kelsey's in shape, he runs. He got me into running, jogging in the 80s, which I hated running as a kid. And that's what he did. He opened up things in yourself that were strengths. He cut me after my second year playing ball with him. I mean, I thought I was that good. But there were other things that I stuck around Douglas Center for. And that was some of the connection of an adult that had interest in young people. And that's what I try to do in my work. And I used to quote, show interest in that child when you want nothing from them, and you'll be surprised at what they give you in return. And Kelsey has probably helped more kids get to college than any other one individual in Children's Aid. Through sports, through identifying those skills within yourself that help you overcome the barriers that prevent you from reaching your dreams. He was on my path. I reached my dream. I'm living my dream. I had a few dreams. I'm living a few of them. But one of them was to be a community person. Like Kelsey Stevens, like Herman Bagley, like Gloria Daniels, that were my mentors when I came to Children's. So are there any questions, any thoughts? Russell, I would be remiss by not offering you a
Put the motion to the table and support it.
The second.
or to add anything that you know that I don't know, and knowing
Kelsey's a superstar. He's a great guy. I know him personally. I played with him. Actually, like out of college, I sat on the bench behind him. Super athlete, great guy, a good father, mentor, community guy, community activist.
Because I only had like 1 or 2 interactions with him, but what I do remember is like in 2021 when Frederick Douglass was doing that like open door program, I went over there and he basically taught me how to properly shoot a basket. So that's apparently I was doing it wrong. So
those little things. And the reason I chose that picture is when you used to walk in Frederick Douglass Center as a kid, this was, I don't know if you remember it, there was a mural and it had Dr. Martin Luther King, it had Malcolm X, and a few other Harriet Tubman, of course, Frederick Douglass, Frederick Douglass Center. But it also had Herman Bagley, who at that time was the director, a picture of him. And it also had Kelsey the Kid Stevens, and he kind of was holding the ball like that and moving. And that always left an impression, and it saddened me when they took it down. And it no longer is. I'm hoping they have it there somewhere. But, you know, that reminded me that 48 years ago, this man impacted my life, still was impacting my life. I even brought my daughter to play ball with Roosevelt, hoping she would stay for Kelsey, and she's like, I don't want to do this. And it was like, I wanted her to feel and get what I had got. So, is there a motion?
Sage has a.
Can I?
Yes, I'm
yeah,
sorry, you know. Speak up.
I want to say thank you so much for this presentation, David. It sounds like Kelsey, I don't know him personally, but it sounds like he's an amazing guy. And I see that the Children's Aid, I put a link in the chat, also wrote an article about Mr. Stevens's 50 years of service. The one thing I want to mention, and I'm fine voting on this now if other people want to, but for the sake of consistency, would it be better to like do that next month, because that's what we usually do with these letters of support?
It is, however, the celebration is on November 7th, and we would not be able to meet again before then or full board. And I'd rather not ratify something that we don't have to ratify, except in those emergency situations. I'd rather, as we have done in the past, motion is here before the table. It can be made.
if everyone's
Unless there's any objections, and then if there are objections, we will vote on the objections.
if everyone's comfortable, I don't see why there's no
like
reason to deny it.
I'll put the motion on the table to support all that David said and honor him in the way.
Can I preface my second to the motion by saying, we moved to Harlem when I was 8. This was in 1990, and that's when I started at the Children's Aid Society. And that's where I met David, Lawrence, Hammer, Gloria, Diane, and yeah, Frederick Douglass. That was my hood. That was where I grew up. So it's a blessing to get this kind of history right now, so many years later. But I can say as a young person that Saturday program was everything for us, because when we wasn't playing basketball, that's when we were getting in trouble. And most of the time when we were bored, we went in the back of the center and we played ball. And that was kind of the hangout spot on the basketball court. And if we had a ball, we would play ball. If not, we hung out on the courts. So basketball was like a refuge in a lot of ways in Douglas specifically. And then Just Say No tournament came, and all of these tournaments that just kept us engaged going through. So I think that, that's why I love what you guys are doing with finding a way to engage young people, especially with all the energy they have, even if they don't wanna play sports, they can dance, they can help organize the sports, so I agree, I appreciate it. But I just wanted to say that and second that motion, yeah.
Please call the roll.
Okay, members, we have 9 present with us. Sage, you're excused, so unfortunately your vote doesn't count this time. Just wanted to clarify that for the record.
I
Rosa
understand.
Diaz-
Yes.
Thank you, Sage, thank you. Rosa Diaz, sorry.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just decided to word it just now.
Let's clarify the motion.
Sorry, yes, please clarify the motion for the record.
Citation.
I'll make my motion.
We would like to acknowledge Kelsey Stevens through a citation. Can we get a motion?
I put a motion on the table for Community Board 11 to acknowledge Kelsey Stevens for his life services as a community person and all the other attributes that they've expressed in the form of a citation representing community board.
Thank you. So calling the roll, as I said, 9 members present, 5 needed for quorum. Rosa Diaz.
Yes.
Thank you. David Giordano.
Yes.
John Green.
Aye.
Annie Hansen.
Here.
As in yes or no or abstain. It's a vote.
Yes.
Yes, okay. You said
I
here.
thought it was.
Sorry, you said here, I'm like.
I'm so sorry, that's my first time.
That's all right. I've done that. I've done that many times.
We have to do a lot more orientating.
Yeah, don't pull up that Zoom meeting.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Christina Johnson,
Yes.
Jennifer Meyer,
Yes.
Asher Rodriguez.
Yes.
Isaac Scott. Yes. Russell Schuler.
Yes, my motion.
I know.
No, actually.
It's last year. Okay, the motion carries. You got it.
Oh, my God. Thank you all. If anybody is interested in coming to the celebration, please let me know and we'll forward an invitation. Thank you.
But I
Ash,
guess,
I'm gonna let you take the leads.
okay,
I'm gonna let you take the leads with the budget process and I'll interject my voice as we make
yeah,
the
I might
changes.
need your help, I can't really talk.
It's all right, you'll do fine. I just.
Okay. I'm gonna wait for Khalid to pull up the slides.
So Philippe, the expenses you decide is not this.
I'm sorry?
I'm sorry.
Yes. No.
The expenses side is not scrolling because those are the only ones you want us to see.
Yes, because those are the ones that are relevant for you guys. It's just a filter and then.
That's what I figured, I ain't gonna touch that. I was also like, good, it's only 5. But I actually have one I wanted to throw in here.
All right, so.
You just sit right here. I like to sit over here.
So.
You want to go around? Not all this. Yes.
Right. So first of all, has everyone been able to sort of go through some of this? All right, so from what I understand, and I could be corrected if I'm wrong, we're going through and deciding what we want to keep and remove.
Yeah.
And if we want to add anything, so.
Yeah.
Just-
Good, Ash, if we, if maybe you just.
I'm gonna read through them, yeah, I'm
I
just
mean, the
gonna,
process, so they
oh, the
don't
process,
understand like what we're doing, and why.
yeah, all right,
I can help.
yeah, I might need a little bit of help. I know what we're doing today. I'm
Yeah.
still trying to learn the full process in general. But basically for what we're doing today is these are our requests from last year. It basically says what was approved, which one wasn't, and then the staff's recommendation for whether we should remove it or keep it. And we could decide, and we also got to rank the priority of each budget request. So I'm just gonna go through all of them because there's not that many. And if anyone has any questions, I'll entertain that after. All right. So the request is the first one. Ooh, that's not the first one. First one is provide technology upgrade. And the reason is as we continue to live in this hybrid world and students are ever more reliant on technology, including computers and tablets to conduct their studies. As such, this technological equipment must be readily available, repaired, replaced, and upgraded as needed, so there is no interruption to learning. Funding must be allocated to ensure this necessary equipment and it's ready available for every student that requires it.
Who is the technology for?
This is just throughout the district,
Okay.
because a lot of this kind of came from like over the pandemic when the DOE was. We went fully online, and even after, all the kids needed some sort of technology to do their homework, so the DOE didn't have enough tablets to provide to students, the schools didn't have. And also some of the schools, their electronic like interior is so old, it can't really handle necessarily charging 20 computers per classroom.
I got
Or
it.
something,
You don't
so,
have to
yeah.
explain. I'm a teacher.
Right.
Yeah, so I know that whole process.
So it says the response was contact the community board unit at OMB for information regarding this request. And the staff recommended it be removed. Alright, I'm just gonna keep reading. And
Is
we'll
it
go back.
recommended that it be so? I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Who's the person that sits on district? Are they like should just, oh, you, okay, good. It's recommended to be removed, sorry. I thought you were just gonna give it the question.
See, part of this problem is what we've run into. When you identify a global need, it doesn't get addressed.
Yeah.
It may be a real need. And what we've learned is we have to always be very specific, like you just asked, who's this for?
Right.
We have to identify the actual school. And then there's a greater chance of that school being selected to have that done, and there's a whole process. And what we learned is DOE, schools and principals have their process, what's the priority. The district may have a priority, and school construction authority that actually does the work has their own authority or priority. And how things are labeled and in what degree is the priority determines when they get done. So when it's global, it goes nowhere. And that's where we really have to always do, is really identify what school or schools are we targeting. And where we have, that's been where some of the successes occurred. And I'll just use the example of the doors, that they're not there yet, but the funding is allocated at Lexington Academy 72. We had the principal come, present, it got pushed up during other meetings in the board, other people were present and heard about the situation. And that's gonna be now funded and done. So we always have to be more specific when we want air conditions and we want these things. Who are we asking for? So thank you. Yes.
So who funds all of this?
It says the agency next to it, so the technology, it says school construction authority.
Right, but they're not really the department.
Yeah, they're not really, yeah.
Right. So in DOE, there are different departments that address different areas and concerns. Always finding out who to go to, right, is the most.
Right, but the
Challenging.
funding would either come from the city, state, or from council. Right?
Right, but within those different states, they're different, like school construction authority has their own budget.
Right, but they don't generally.
But they don't
fund
do
stuff.
technology.
They actually just bring you the equipment or fix whatever it is or install,
Right.
what you call them, air conditioners and doors and things.
Right, but part of the problem is that I got you the funding for air conditioners. But the building doesn't have the electricity to handle the air conditioning. So now who pays for the electricity is a different department.
Yeah.
Yep.
I just wanna get through.
So we gotta go through the thing.
Yeah,
I know it's important for new members. There's processes, and when you don't know, you feel lost, and
Yeah.
so ask the questions specifically, and especially new members, so we can
Yeah.
help.
No, the
And-
questions are appreciated. I'm not trying to cut anyone off. It's just that it's important to just read through all of them and then we'll go nitty gritty each one.
See,
What's the matter, Eddie?
I made a copy of everything material you sent me,
Mhm.
but I don't see that one.
You don't see that? Oh,
Yeah.
did you print everything from that? document?
I print everything. Okay, I'm gonna sit down.
Yes.
Because I like to read from my own notes.
You can look here if you want.
Oh, good.
Okay, so the next one, renovate.
Sorry, Actor. I would like you guys to finalize your committee positions as you go along. so we
Okay.
can Ratify it.
At the end.
Yes,
Okay.
yes. It'd be more.
All right.
better to do that.
So what I think, and if anyone disagrees with me, like Davis says, we have to be a little bit more specific. Thing is, we don't really have necessarily a school that has come and presented specifically for. I think we have one talk about, but I think that was approved.
Let's take it off.
Take it off? All right.
It's still a need in the community, but unless we've done that identified research
Yeah.
and have, we're gonna get the same responses we did last year. And it doesn't make sense to, just so everybody does know, there are priorities that are coming out of parks and rec, environment, open space and parks that also overlap our committee because they relate to youth and the parks that our youth use in the schools. So, Jessica and I talked about possibly joining those as well, so that they're kind of like a third kind of committee separate, so that maybe people vote on them collectively because they're equally as important. But yes, why don't we just go through and continue to go? So,
All right, does anyone have a problem with us removing it? No? Okay. All right, next one. Renovate interior building component. Funding must be allocated to fully upgrade the bathrooms at the Lexington Academy located at 131 East 104th Street. Currently, the agency's bathrooms initiative renovates only 2 student restrooms, 1 for girls and 1 for boys. However, more funding is needed to renovate the other restrooms in need of repair. At the very least, the agency should consider funding for an additional restroom this fiscal year or to comply with the mandate to provide gender-neutral bathrooms. This project was funded in the prior fiscal year and the construction contract has been let. So basically every bathroom was funded, right?
no,
No.
not the ones on the first floor. were
And the
funded.
first floor and then the 4th floor was done.
Right. But they have not all been completed, and we need to keep it because until it's complete, it needs to stay on.
Yeah, I don't think we can necessarily get any more specific.
Now, it may not be a high priority.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
I don't think we necessarily could get any more specific than we have because we stated, yeah.
Or should we state the floors on the bathrooms that?
Right, that should be
That
specific.
should be specific since we.
can
Some of them.
Second, third floor.
The
third.
second floor.
Yeah.
That bathroom's constantly breaking, second, third,
So you can.
and then
specify.
5th.
Yeah,
Okay.
correct. So you're gonna add that right in there as we go.
Yeah.
I can read the next one.
Question.
So we're gonna.
If someone,
No, yes.
Has anyone been there to see the bathroom?
we worked there,
Oh, you did?
we worked there,
We do,
Oh, both of you?
yeah.
yeah, we do visits. So right now, I run the East Harlem Center and services at Lexington Academy. The
Oh.
East Harlem Center is being rebuilt, which you mentioned last month, and they're gonna do a more formal presentation on that. But we've relocated to Lexington, so I've been there for the last 9 years.
Okay,
In those bathrooms, like especially the second floor is constantly,
And
and that's the
most-
little kid's bathroom.
right, but in most elementary schools, the bathrooms are horrendous.
Yes.
Yeah,
Well, again, when principals come and present, it
Right.
helps their cause.
It does.
And
Okay.
we have a few principals that have been before us a few times.
Mhm.
We probably need to spread the wealth out a little bit more, but again,
I'm just gonna add a quick note to just say add specific floors and then
So this-
later on I'll do the wordy.
So this is revised.
Yes, this is revised, yeah.
And also.
and the early childhood bathrooms as well need to be redone.
No, that's what I meant, the second floor, because those are
I
for
think we
the,
need to indicate early childhood as well.
yeah.
We did.
And please also don't forget, committee recommended ranking.
Okay.
Column L, okay?
Isn't that easier to do at the end just because it's the like the ranking? Because once we go through all of them,
Not everybody remembers what's up there, because not everybody.
because that's what we did for parks.
Wait till we get to the mission and goals, we see how many people came with their two,
Ashley, sorry to answer your question. It's at the committee's discretion, how you guys want to go. about it.
Let's rank last, let's try to get the wording in
Yeah.
quicker and then.
No problem.
Yeah. All right, only a couple more. Funding, renovate interior building component. Funding must be allocated to fully complete the necessary wiring upgrades at PS 146 and M Short. The wiring in the building is original to 1965 and currently only accommodates 2400 amps. However, the building needs to accommodate 4200 to 4500 amps for the school to sustain all its technology, modern equipment, refrigeration in the kitchen, and AC requirements. The staff recommended to keep this. Because they said unable to prioritize funding for this project request at this time. this presentation, I remember when they came in, it's like they really need it because they can't charge the tablets and stuff and all, and the ACs. Weren't they supposed to get ACs? And they can't get them because of the wiring. So is everyone okay with keeping this one?
Yes.
See, it's more specific.
Yeah,
Okay, no, but you know, we'll learn again.
right,
You
so
know,
how do we push this through? Because from experience, I know that when you don't have enough, what's it called, amps?
Yep.
Is that it, amps?
Yeah.
Running through your apartment, house, school, whatever, it can cause electrical fires.
Yep.
So that should definitely be a
Put in.
high priority.
so we again, just so everybody knows, we vote on this committee within the ones that we represented up through this committee. Then they go into the bigger pot with the other committees,
Gotcha.
and then we all then as a whole entire board prioritize. For some reason, the parks things always get a high priority, housing gets high priority, there's certain things that get higher priority.
Yeah, it's happening yet.
Okay, let's go.
That's what you call the Francis Mastroda effect.
Yes, I know, it's still lingering. Let's go, Ash. Keep
All right.
going.
Renovate interior building component, replace school hallway doors at Lexington Academy. Funding needs to be allocated to repair door frames, replace hallway fire safety doors that automatically open and close. These doors are essential for the safety and protection of our children. And it says, keep further study by the agency of this request is needed. Didn't you say it was funded?
It's funded, but it's not funded through necessarily the city, it was the state that came in. See, when one of our meetings here, the state has raised the issue through the process, so it's moving it forward. Now, again, I say, until we actually got the doors,
Keep
keep
it,
it.
just maybe put it a little bit lower priority.
Because you don't want to ever eliminate something that they haven't put in yet, because
Yeah,
They may go back on it.
yeah.
Might forget about it.
You said it was state funded, right?
and so, you know, again, when we presented this last year, this was a year and a half ago that they actually came and presented.
Yeah, this is like.
And we
2021.
carried, right, because it was still zooming.
Yeah, I remember
21.
that, yeah. Renovate interior building component, funding needs to be allocated to make repairs to the pool at DOE building M037 to 2351 First Avenue. Unable to prioritize funding for this project request at the time. I think we should keep it and maybe add, because I remember the presentation was about the lack of kids being able to swim in the community. And maybe just put like the safety component, because I think when you add the safety component, it kind of pushes them to be like, hey, we live by water, number one. We
had recent drowning.
yeah, so, yeah.
Yeah.
Isn't that a new mayor's initiative also? That all students in, I believe, K-5 have some swimming lessons going forward?
We're the pools.
There's been the pool.
Because,
But I
yeah,
read up that he's got some new initiative going now where he wants all elementary students to learn how to swim.
I agree with you.
Am I allowed to say something?
yeah.
My son, he goes to a District 75 school, which is also in PS 146, and they have an asphalt green program where they go.
Yes.
Where they go swimming for a couple of weeks. They take it cycles and they go swimming for a couple of weeks.
Yeah, they've done that with several schools around the district.
I'm not seeing anything about what you said about the mayor and learning how to swim.
Yeah, if I
Yeah,
find
no,
out,
yeah,
find
there
it,
is
I'll bring it,
But,
or
you know,
put it on.
Swimming is important.
Yeah.
It really is, and considering, you know, as we said, drowning has occurred here, and, you know, sometimes not always, preventable. I actually had to save a kid, and I took junior life saving in camp as a kid, and didn't realize 10 years later that it saved a life. You know?
There's not
So-
many pools around here, like, I think some schools go to asphalt green, but that's about it.
I think I see.
No,
Mhm.
there's been no pool
See,
put in that safety
Yeah.
system.
again, it's an initiative, but make it happen in.
There's pools in like certain high schools, but not in our district. So there is pools in the DOE, just not here.
Well, maybe accessing some of those, you know, Parks Department, Parks and Rec pools, that there are some of them that are inside, I believe.
Yeah.
But not around.
Yes, they also offer, like, you can sign your kid up for free for a free application with the Parks Department, and you can take them swimming for free.
But that's like
But I'm
also,
not sure if you need to have a membership, I'm not sure about that.
but
Right, there was an initiative where children under 18 could sign up. It was a couple of years ago. They did a presentation here, I believe.
But my thing is like when you do it with the school, it helps parents who can't necessarily bring their kids to the pool and stuff, cause I remember when I was younger, we had the asphalt green lessons when I was in second and third grade. That was like once a week, our teachers would take us over there and we learned how to swim.
All right, so we're gonna keep it, right?
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah. Okay,
we believe in the importance of pool. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, but it's the Learn to Swim program that should have mentioned.
so maybe what we wanna do is when we go into new business, or I mean, until, new needs for the district, we include safety and swimming instruction classes.
Yeah. Repair and last one, reconstruct or upgrade a park or amenity, playground, outdoor athletic field. Repair and upgrade PS 108 Peter Minuet Playground funding needs to be allocated to make repairs and upgrade Peter Minuet Playground. The agency has stated that they will try to accommodate this request with existing resources. The staff recommend we remove it. Any,
Well, there was a presentation on that also in the Parks and Rec.
with you,
And some of it. I remember also that Bill, the principal, did a presentation in Environment Open Space that he would consider giving up the bathroom, but I don't think we should consider that, giving up the bathroom, if we can push it as we've, especially in Environment Open Space, have a lot of issues with building repairs in parks or building new parks and not putting bathroom facilities or repairing.
but I remember when we were talking about that during the Environment, Open Space and Parks Committee, the school is the one mostly using it and they have access to a bathroom that was
Right,
mentioned.
but it was also felt that there is still the public that uses it and they would not have, that works for the school. But it doesn't work for those individuals that use it that are not part of the school day, and I'm gonna say the school day, because once the school closes, the park is still open.
But that's
On
not,
Saturday and Sunday, the park is open and that's one of the parks we visited.
I
right?
feel like, yeah, but also cause I'm pretty sure this was on Parks's thing, also Parks needs to push for that.
Do you remember where they had that?
We need to push for that, we should keep it.
Oh, I'd have to add it under the.
Yeah, you can't look the filter, if I wanted to go look for it.
So are we keeping it?
I think you should.
I think
so.
Just like he said, we remove it, it's gone, but if we keep it, it's just a maybe, so I think we should keep it, just in case.
So you say emphasize bathroom?
Right, cause you'll just get the same response if you keep it.
Yeah. So I just put bathroom. These are just my little notes. I will reword it. It's just,
You're doing a great job, man.
alright.
On to expense.
Alright.
Let's go to expense. I have-
Or unless you guys wanted to do the ranking right here. right?
Yeah, why don't we rank them, because they're separate rankings, right?
They're still fresh in our memories.
Alright. Committee ranking. Alright. So basically how the rankings work is high priority, low priority, or just medium priority. So the stuff that we really want to push through, will be high priority and medium and so forth. So the first one that we read was the,
You opted to remove that, the first one.
oh yeah, the first one, yeah, I did. Did I? Yeah, okay, sorry, next one. That's why I should have scrolled. So with the revisions, the funding must be made to allocate the bathrooms at Lexington Academy located at 131. Basically, the bathrooms at Lexington Academy, and with the revision of add the specific floors, like the second floor, the early childhood bathrooms, and the third and fifth floor boys bathrooms, because those are the third and.
What are the tiers?
High ranking, high priority, medium priority, low priority. Those bathrooms are in really bad shape. I'm just gonna say that we've had, it's like a constant thing, that second floor early childhood bathroom breaking. And it's a lot
So,
to bring
Can
little
I
kids.
interject this, though, Ash?
Yeah,
Being that they already said it's funded and we're keeping it, it might be a low priority, and we may have other things that are like, The next one, I think, is a high priority, right? The electricity for that building.
Yeah.
and So maybe because it is funded, we lower it so that we can highlight ones that are, you know.
I would say medium priority, just because
That's fine.
I'm just saying from being there over the summer and the amount of times that back.
Oh, I know. Still break it down.
It's it's,
Okay, so we'll put that as a medium.
and we
Next
said
one.
the next one, for PS 146, the electricity, we want to put that as high priority, correct? Oh, the lead already did that, all right.
I'm there, yeah.
The doors at Lexington, I would say medium still.
Medium or maybe low, because you said state funded already, like the state already funded that.
Well, the state's saying, get it done,
Okay,
you know, we ain't sure who's funded,
okay,
but it's happening.
okay, so this was key, I just put like a little note, state wants funded. Yeah. Yeah. That's nice. All right,
But you know,
the pool. How do we want to rank that? Medium or low?
I would say go high,
High?
yeah,
yeah,
Okay,
because as you stated, we live in an area surrounded by water,
yeah,
you know.
A safety issue at this point.
yeah,
right, and that's what we maybe think about adding into the new one, that based on the Maze initiative.
Well,
We
it's
wanna-
it's on the chalk beat, July 11th.
Okay.
I have. it
if you could
wanna see it.
possibly. Respond to the email Khalid sent with all the
Right.
materials for today with the
Right.
attachment of that article.
Gotcha.
That would be appreciated. Repair and upgrade PS 108 Peter Minuet Playground with the revision of the bathroom. How do we want to rank
I'd
that?
say high,
High?
because you want a bath,
Yeah.
we fight for bath, y'all don't know. Part of the parcel
Y'all
of the
don't know
state.
the like 20
fight for
minutes we
bathroom.
spent arguing about the bathroom.
Okay, let's keep it going.
Park without a park without a bathroom. Like, it makes it such a-
Well, there's
Like Thomas
stretches along,
Jefferson.
the, you know, the East River. That they wanna create beautiful space for people to spend time. And if you don't put bathrooms,
Yeah,
one will be created.
yeah, right.
Oh, come on.
Right.
Okay, these are the expense budgets
Okay.
request. All right, what am I doing? Hello? Okay. All right, assign more non-teaching staff to provide social health and other services. Additional funding should be allocated to employ additional social workers to not only provide therapeutic services, but also to provide evidence-based groups and case management services. Staff recommendation, oh wait, sorry. The response was more information is needed from the community board before making a funding decision. The community board should contact the agency. Revise, be more specific, tailor requests to identify most vulnerable students in most vulnerable facilities.
Yeah, I was just thinking that maybe we can tailor something like this to like the demographic that Urban Gov is dealing with, justice involved youth. Maybe we can include those that.
Yeah, I would say even just.
Yeah.
Maybe just to emphasize the trauma of the pandemic, because some of these, like especially like third graders, they don't necessarily remember the pandemic because they were in like kindergarten, pre-K. But they still like, even the kids who don't necessarily remember it, you still could like see the impact of losing certain developmental years of your life can bring, so.
Yeah, I agree. I just think we should just specify the groups, like.
Yeah.
Including these. Like
Yeah.
specifics, so they know what demographics of young people we're talking about. But yeah, I agree with you.
Yeah. All right. So we're revising it, correct? And keeping it? All right. Other expense budget requests for DYCD. Increase the amount of after-school program seats for high school age youth in East Harlem with a focus on social emotional learning, SEL. Special attention should be given to freshmen and sophomores to ensure a smooth transition from remote learning to a new school. Presently, there are a variety of agency-funded programs in the district for this target population. Additional programs are contingent upon, that's a lot of words, upon available funding and will be distributed through a RFP process. Organizations are encouraged to apply. So removed funding of already available. Upon organization initiative, recommend removal.
We're being taped, don't even say anything.
I just don't know, I don't know if that is, I don't know,
Yeah.
I
it's-
want to
it's-
revise it and add
yeah.
preschool programs, because that was something we were talking.
We have to add them separately, we
Oh,
want to
separately?
add them
Okay.
separately, because those are different
Oh,
kinds
groups,
of
alright.
issues. And I also wanna add something because, and I have to recuse myself at that point when we vote on it, because I'm not sure where it's affecting citywide, but the mayoral slots in the after-school program and the discretionary council slots, which I served 89 more kids. I just found out when we asked why we didn't get the slots this year, and they're not showing up. And what was just said is, we did not get funding for that now.
Okay.
So those slots, we did not know about until today that we are not getting
So we should keep it.
slots that began July 1.
I would say revise,
Yeah.
keep this, you're gonna get the same answer next year.
I really be sure we're fine.
So we have to separate which slots we're asking for, revise. See, again, when we've asked for increase in certain things, they said they have, like the work readiness program, right? SYEP during the winter is called the Work, Learn, and Grow program.
Yeah.
And they give many, many less slots, and we've asked for increases in those slots. And what they say is SYEP's been increased, which it has, but not the
work
slots
looking
that
for,
happen
yeah.
during the winter when kids are in school. So,
How do we want to revise this?
maybe focus it more on.
Focus it more on. I don't know how this, I'm not familiar with that type of thing, so how do you think we should revise it, David?
I'm not thinking about what's priorities and what we can do at this moment. This has been one we haven't gotten past for a long time.
So,
And although we've kept it on because it's important. Right now, parents need kids that are age 5 through 13 in after-school programs. And when you've taken away slots, that means there's less kids that have the availability to attend programs.
so. Should we remove it?
Maybe we revise it in the essence that we are seeking more elementary or restoring mayoral funding. See, this is where it gets tricky. It's the mayor's funding and the council's funding that's given to DYCD. Now, are they not getting it? DYCD, or are they getting it and repurposing it? So when I got mayoral slots, that was specific. Extra slots, you get extra this amount of money. Extra slots, you get this amount of money. I'm serving 89 less kids plus 20%. You know what 20% of 89 is?
20?
19, 17.
18, 17 point something. So whenever you want to take 20%, you just double it and move zero.
What?
Yeah, that's as simple as it is.
I don't get it, but.
Sure.
When you start tipping, you'll get
Right. Sage, I don't know if you did, but do you have any input on any of these things from where you're sitting?
Calculators are a thing.
I don't know, I'm just asking if anybody Sage may have said.
Oh,
You know,
Sage,
he left?
Oh,
Xavier's in here with us, Sharima's still here with us, and our attendees. Are
The
still here.
DYCD budget for the teens.
Okay, so,
The social emotional thing in that,
Yeah,
so. It seems like, I'm not a catchphrase guy, but you know, so the social emotional phrasing. Why not identify a population that are not prone to be on the college track, give those freshmen and sophomore more of a career readiness? Put them on a career readiness track, or workforce readiness track.
that's another one of the requests on the bottom.
but you know what, I think Russell has a point here. I think, and somebody said it earlier, you may, you know, where COVID is still having an impact on young people and the social emotional health. And, you know, we even had somebody present that said their high school students are like elementary students because of the social and emotional isolation kids had during COVID. Like, I worked with youth for 44 years. And in the last 5 years, I was in this school pre-COVID and after COVID. Human behavior hasn't changed that much, but it's sure not, that short period of time had a big impact on human behavior.
So could we preface the reason with the post-COVID reasoning?
Right.
Which is why we.
And why we would keep this, that maybe we need. Maybe less, not necessarily ask for slots, but ask for more services and programming around social and emotional to support youth in their career development as they have to overcome, we're worded, but more due to the impact of COVID and the social isolation on youth, that there is more programming needed to help kids foster that.
I think also we could say transitioning back.
To catch up on those 3 years that were
Yeah,
lost.
Yeah, I just put in my notes at that post-COVID, SEL is more important than ever. And of course, I would get more specific within the, but these are just, next one, provide, expand, or enhance skills training and employment services for high school students at risk of dropping out. Special attention must be paid to high school students at risk of dropping out. However, at-risk youth are generally the hardest to reach. More resources are needed to expand outreach and connect these vital programs to the youth who need them most. What was the response? DYCD has increased the funding in this service area.
Well, see, when you say we get more of the SYP and there's more of y'all working in the summer, they have. But as we ask more specifically, maybe, it's part of their global thing. And like I've always said, remember, SYP wasn't always to 24. It went to 24 to help support and reduce the unemployment rate for people that were adults and not working. Because those jobs used to be solely for youth. But we will continue.
So do we want to remove, revise, keep?
I'd say one.
I don't think we should remove it. Because it seems to be targeted specifically.
Maybe what we do is just even saying the word, looking for more programming during the school year. More,
Could we say?
Yeah.
Put more money into or seeking more slots from the Work Learn Grow program, something like that, something.
That's the next one.
program. Oh, that's
the program, yeah.
So we
like
said looking
they
for
serve
more
3,000
programming.
kids do SYP in the summer,
So,
and maybe about 200 to 300 to Work Learn and Grow.
so we're looking for more programming during school year.
Yes.
Can we also preface this with a post-COVID sort of,
I wouldn't just say programming, internships and employment, career opportunities. What were you gonna say?
No, I was just thinking, could we also preface this with a, post-COVID,
Yeah.
just that there's more of a need post-COVID, maybe that'll also, because I think.
Because they get work
maybe looking
experience.
at all of these, like, okay, we saw this before, but with the post-COVID, sort of practice, I think it warrants a different level of attention, just looking at it again.
Remember, a lot of those jobs were also online during that first summer with SYEP.
Yeah.
Which was the least good they kept people, but it still wasn't learning a job and doing a job.
Yeah, literally, I learned nothing from that.
Yeah.
Other youth workforce development requests, increased funding should be allocated to employ additional youth in the Work, Learn and Grow program, provide more opportunities for employment, and to expand career and college readiness for high schoolers. Where did the response go?
I don't know.
And
Me?
Deleted DYCD.
Sorry, did I delete something?
Oh my God. DYC.
That's okay.
That, we got it back.
This Oh, wait, where's the staff notes?
Because I was reading, trying to read it on the phone, but it was like,
Don't worry about it.
it's coagulated.
What?
Is that it?
Yeah, but
Yes.
Oh,
I
okay.
got common permission, that's it.
Was there a staff note deleted?
If it's the same, it's probably the same thing then, because for every response that has.
It's usually the same
I
thing.
probably had the same thing here too.
So do we want to keep this?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think, you know, again, we highlight 3 years where kids did not get this normal experience. And, you know, it impacts social, it impacts work. Man, y'all know I was delivering groceries for Food City.
I have a question, I think, I'm not sure. I know, sorry.
It's okay.
Since we're talking about high schoolers and this college and career thing, right? Is there some kind of way to work into that? Certifications for them?
I'm pretty sure that's involved in it in the.
So we had that as well,
Certain programs, yeah.
about vocational programs and additional for non-college. And they said they funded that too.
There's a lot of stuff that we have put on in the past that they have said has been funded. So,
Yeah, so part of our next part of the process is looking over the mission. And then coming up with our goals to work on. And our goals should be focused on what we're saying are the district needs,
Okay.
right? So, you know, again,
So,
unfortunately, we can't solve and do all the things that this community needs. And we have to, one, prioritize them in this process, but then also prioritize them within us and how we work to accomplish those needs.
okay, so question,
Mhm.
somebody is funding this, right? So they're saying that they funded already, so how?
Well, they said they increased funding.
they didn't say they.
We got it in East Hall, but
Okay, but how do you track the money? Like, okay, I can tell you I gave him some money, right? He's not here, so you can't, you know, it's just my word. So how do we track?
there are two processes. One, we have meetings with these different agencies, and then they'll come here, let's say DYCD, and a rep will come here and with a list and say, you have all these programs here, these are the numbers, yada, yada, yada. And then it's all of us as CBOs communicating or being part of other entities or forums where we learn. Like I said, I lost about my slots. I now know in Children's Aid today who else was affected by the same slots I lost. Now, my idea is to go to Stan, go to Harbor, go to Union Settlement, find out, are they also losing these slots? So it's not maybe just impacting Children's Aid, but is it impacting the community? Is it impacting the city? And what's the impact? Now, you know, this is only my belief. You know, last week DYCD asked us to complete a survey. How many of us newest New Yorkers are we serving in our schools or in our programs? Maybe some of that money is being held to target towards some of the needs that have come about because of which these kids need to have the school just as any other kid in the school. But it's a challenge, you know. One, I have to maybe have a hiring freeze myself or let some people go if I don't have enough clients to serve the amount of staff, right? So what's the impact on first as a program, then as an agency, then on a community, and then the city? And that's all research. So, you know, I've already begun asking, like, I didn't get this money, where's the money?
Right,
You
okay.
know, I'm gonna call the councilwoman, where's the money?
What is DYCD?
Department of Youth Community Development. So they're a city agency that funds after-school programs and various different adolescent programs for the city.
Basically, that's why
FYP.
he is the big one.
Yeah.
That's not a youth program.
Yes, so they're funded through DYCD as well.
Okay.
Y'all gotta forgive me for moving around. I gotta cramp my leg and it's
That's
moving.
okay. Keep moving.
Yeah.
I got something for you for that.
Okay.
All right, so we're revising that. Now we got to rank these.
No, I need to add a new one.
Oh, you wanted to add a new one?
Oh, absolutely right. And I'm gonna have to recuse myself once I add that.
Can you help me add this, Colleen?
Just right.
Oh.
Okay, go ahead, Dave.
Restore. City council discretionary funding for after-school programs.
Oh, damn.
While Clea fixing that, David, can you cramp, pinch your upper lip?
Oh my God.
I'll try anything, you know, almost,
City council discretionary funding?
yeah. For after-school slots. And elementary, I want to be specific because I know it's elementary. right?
Elementary slots?
Yes,
The middle school was in it?
no. And again, that's part of our research also to find out as we go forward as well. And restore mayoral slots. Mayoral, M-A-Y-R, yeah. Slots for after school. Yeah, same thing. Should just be duplicate of the same thing, but it should be.
Elementary.
Right, so DYCD gets the funding from them to distribute. See, this one gets tricky. Do we go to the mayor with this one, or do, you know, or do we put all three entities?
All I know,
City council,
all I know is the mayor asked city agencies to cut their budget by like 15% or something like that.
right, but see,
So,
this is not like
looking
budget,
into-
these are separate line slots. So my base contract is for 100 elementary. Then I get 24 mayoral slots and 55. Discretionary slots. I had them this summer. When does the fiscal year begin, everybody, for the city?
July 1st.
July 1st. So if I had them July 1st, how come I ain't got them now?
They disappeared.
Okay. Any other?
Does anyone have any other new requests?
Reason, funded was removed, and then we can put in. Again, the importance of after-school programming and yada, yada.
I didn't draft this, so let me know if it's. I was just thinking that, it would be good to have something specifically targeting, providing more educational support for justice involved young people. More specifically, that population. And like young people who are like 16, 17, like the demographics that they might be dealing with, a lot of young people get locked up, that's disrupting their educational flow for them. Getting back in, I guess it would look like probably funding more programs like what they're doing, you know, because but yeah.
You know, OCFS used to, I don't know if they still do, but we used to have a reentry program at children's aid. Where kids would be almost mandated to come to after school, but you know, not teen program for their age. Where they would have to attend a certain amount of groups and check in and, you know.
He said 16, 17.
Yeah.
I don't know where that, I think we need, you know.
16 to 18, like 14 to 18.
Maybe just high school.
High school.
I think gang violence is like 13, we didn't even go to 13. Maybe
I
like
feel like it's young and possible, but
Right,
they're
yeah.
starting.
Yeah, right.
Like they're getting these ideas when they're like 12.
Yeah, maybe, I'm sorry, maybe 13 to 18, 13 to 18, yeah.
Well, you know, a lot of what we see is like that middle school kids that get a little like isolated or stop coming. Where parents give in and allow them to not come, or
Increase.
they hang out with older teens
Increase
who influence.
and professional development support.
Okay, target funding. Increase educational and development
Or increase, not, you gotta rest the end. Education and professional development. support, or it could even be career development. Support for. I don't even know if you need to say at risk and justice involved, unless you want to clarify at risk.
At risk?
I don't, if we just put at risk, it's gonna lose the justice involved.
Right, I think what we're talking about is youth that have been already
That has been-
adjudicated.
Yeah, so if we keep the justice involved part.
Oh.
If we wanted to highlight at risk, what do we mean by at risk?
Oh, I was just hearing.
Oh, no, okay,
Everything.
yeah, justice involved or.
Adjudicated.
Yeah,
Involved, such adjudicated, okay, you got it.
I would use both, because,
yeah.
sometimes we're caught in family court, and it's right before that point where it becomes criminal, right? And that's
Yeah.
the prevention work of like pins.
Could we, like, slash the, not slash, but like, educational support slash professional development slash career development.
Career readiness is kind of like the term, and career readiness.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. Anyone else? Right, so let's rank them, including, I think the new ones are probably high priority, just the fact that we've added them.
Yes, you need to ratify your recommendations on all.
On all of them, which
So just do like a blanket, like we approve what you discussed.
Yeah. Should be allocated to employ social workers, not only to provide therapeutic services, but also to provide evidence-based groups. What priority do we want to put that? Anyone oppose? No?
with tax.
Increase the amount of after-school program seats for high school age youth, medium priority? Where are we? I lost track.
Sorry, here, special attention must be paid to high school students at risk of dropping out.
Medium, high, I want to put everything, so. Increase funding.
We don't put a lot of stuff as high priority.
That's what I'm saying.
We don't have that many requests. Compared to some of the other committees, we don't have that
We can
many.
say the youth are high priority, so.
Increase,
Especially with everything going on, young people.
You can't, but also FYI, at full board,
Yeah.
more of y'all will have to.
yeah.
Support ours, yes. We have to be strong in our things.
Jesus. Increased funding should be allocated to employ additional youth in the work, learn and grow program to provide more opportunities for employment and to expand college and career readiness for high schoolers, medium.
Medium, yeah.
Well. All right, did we do everything?
Yes, all right, so
Alright.
now you all have to.
Motion to accept all the revisions and rankings.
Seconded.
Well, I said someone needs to. Do I have to,
You can just,
do I have to present not vote for the DYCD one, because I work for Sheffield?
no, you're a board member, you're.
No, but,
Yeah,
well, it's because I know he has to, but,
Oh, I
And
see.
then-
Oh,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry,
yeah,
Yes, yes.
it's safer to do it than to
Yeah.
not.
yeah,
Angel will clarify it, but
yeah.
I've learned it's better not to vote for something.
Yeah,
than
it's
have
better.
it.
Present not voting.
But we're just. We can vote on the rank, because it's a collective ranking as a group, right? But we can't.
You can't.
You
You
can't
can't-
vote on resolutions?
No, no.
No, well, I mean, so.
Is
Remember I
that,
told you, Rosa, you can't vote for your own school to get something.
Everything for District 4.
is that we work for Lexington Academy.
I know
and
you
vote,
guys-
yeah,
You're voting to finalize any revisions,
Right, so we're not voting on the actual item.
okay.
Right, on the actual,
No, what I'm saying is, I'm not making a motion or I'm not supporting.
oh, no, you're not, so,
We do
so you're
it.
not necessarily saying, oh, well, we specifically are supporting the motion
Right.
to increase the expense budget as for DYC, you're
Right.
approving the board, like, your board budget
Overall.
request.
But the
especially
new
this
ones,
year's
but the
best.
new ones, when we get to the new ones, we probably, for
Maybe
at least
these
one
new
of
ones
them,
there?
yeah.
So.
No, but we're doing the
it's-
ranking, right?
Yeah,
So
we're just
we're fine.
voting on.
All right, I'm just making sure I'm just making sure.
Okay, all right, so what I.
Angel will give us a power.
So what I mean, like finalize or ratify these items, is like, once you all agree that, yes, we want these revisions, yes, we wanna take this item out, yes, we wanna keep this, and blah, 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 so on and so forth like that. That's what's gonna be brought before full board, and
Okay,
then they're gonna finalize, or all of us together will
Right.
finalize the rankings from there.
all right.
So I was hoping that you would all do like, just a blanket vote to say, yes, we agree with everything that we've gone over for the budget requests. And, this is what we're submitting before the full board, and will ultimately be submitted to, Department of City Planning
All right.
for the forthcoming, budget request. But if you want to, yeah, sorry.
No, would that also include the two new ones? That
Yes.
blanket vote?
Yeah, so these are your new requests, because I'm sure you all don't want to vote individually for.
No.
No, oh my God. Jesus.
Everybody's up there.
All those in favor?
All those in favor, aye.
All those in favor to approve?
We don't have a motion.
Can I make a motion? I can make.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you want to.
Yeah, no.
Motion to support all of the revisions and updates that we've made to the budget request for fiscal year 2024-25.
25.
Or fiscal year 25, sorry.
Right, all youth and education committee related budget requests.
Youth and education related budget request.
Second it.
Second by Rose.
It's almost 9 p.m. Let's finish.
Thank you.
It's almost 9 p.m. Let's finish. I'm hungry.
Rose again.
Do you want to do a roll call vote?
All those in favor?
Aye.
Any objections, any abstains, any present not voting? Motion passes. Let's go.
I
All
thought
right.
this was president not voting.
Wait, did
No,
you?
I think you.
Oh my God. So it's about to ruin it. All right,
Yeah,
committee missions and goals.
okay.
All right.
So just by a raise of hand. How many people came with at least two needs in this community? And goals they thought we should address? Oh, that's good.
In the school, I have tons, but.
Okay, so what I would do for the sake tonight, for the sake of the time at 8:48, 8:49, I did find a more recent mission statement that I found that work hidden away somewhere. So if we just take a moment, I will read that. And then I'm gonna ask everybody, by tomorrow, please send me and Ash your two goals you would like the committee to work on, or two needs that you think that we should address within the community of this. So some of the stuff we worked on the last few years was working on supporting DOE a lot more, and that became part of our mission statement, as I'll read that next. And part of my mission, and it's always been my mission, is to involve youth. And I've continued to hopefully do that. I think the committee is a nice blend of young people, experienced board members, and new board members who have so many great new things to add and contribute. Some new members help us look at things that sometimes we take for granted and become practices and forget that maybe there is a process and a policy and procedure to follow. So it's always good to have a blending of new, experience, green, wet, young, innovative, and people that will take it and see things that some of us miss because of where we sit now at a different place. So with that said, the Youth and Education Committee advocates for funding, programs, and policies that support youth to secure a college education, careers of their own choosing, and economic stability for them and their families. Our educational activities should seek to encompass all learners, including English as second language learners and special needs learners. We advocate for academic excellence and knowledge of social justice issues in our community. We seek to develop and maintain positive relationships with all local schools, colleges, and community-based organizations to assist our schools in getting needed city services. We strive to give a direct voice to the youth of this community and to assist youth groups in any way possible consistent with our mission. So that's our present mission. If we want to change anything or to make it more inclusive, I'm willing to entertain that, but it's really not my mission, it's the committee's mission. And this should change based on the membership as it changes. A community board is culture, it's an evolving, it's not stagnant. And if we do become stagnant, then it's time for some of us to move on. And hence, I'm hoping to move on and pass it on to one of my youth very soon. Because again, as I said, I'd rather sit beside a mentor than not sit or sit too long.
Yeah.
So with that said, and it being 9 o'clock, again, I want to thank the charter school for coming, because not all do come. We are going to invite Capital Prep also. They have a new principal who I know and is asked to come before the board. And we'll see if that occurs, not by her willing, but maybe by the school's willing. But as we continue on, I'm gonna ask, please, by tomorrow, think of 2 things that you think is really important for us to address going forward. And that's something you would be willing to work and advocate on behalf of the board, and more importantly, on behalf of the youth and adults seeking educational attainment and things better in their life. And
You
I'll leave
know,
it with that.
I think, District 4, District 5 comes in and gives updates about elementary, middle school. I think we should also open it up to high schools, because even though I give my little high school report, I think we should have a citywide council for high schools and president's council for high schools to come in and present. We also have a lot of updates. We have colleges fair, high school fairs. Like there's so much information out there that we are missing.
Just follow on.
So, yes,
So Rosa is correct, and we can expand our youth and education committee list. We have invitees, that's why Dr. Cruz is on and she's aware of it. We've notified some other members, representatives from District 5. I think there's maybe a Frederick Walsh, who is a superintendent for high school students.
There are several
There's
high
several.
school superintendents that I meet with
Okay.
every single month. So even though I tell them that to come in, but maybe like a formal invitation from the CB11, I will send you their emails, because it's not just.
no, Miss Gina Williams used to attend since COVID occurred.
I know, but
But she's no longer.
Right, it's a new, on board, new
Council
members
turns
and
over.
everything. Right, and I forgot to acknowledge, Lacey Jordan, she is also PEC Community Education Council District 4 Vice President. So she's joining tonight, and,
Maybe a public member?
yes, yes. So I will send you the information so you can send them directly.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Of course.
So without anything else, we will adjourn at 8:55.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed? Any objection? Okay, we are adjourned. Thank you all for coming. I expect to see you
All right.
tomorrow.
I emailed Monterey.
Thank you, sir.